Hey, hello YouTube, man. How you guys doing today? It is me again, your favorite Texas trucker. This is video number 2 to be released on this coming home time. We are still sitting out the 34-hour reset. I talked to you about that in the last video on the update for October the 16th. We're still sitting in shit. I just had a damn brain cramp, man. Augusta, Georgia. We're still sitting in Augusta, Georgia, okay? So today, I've already given you the update. I've already told you what's been going on. I've already told you what I'm unhappy with. You know, things happen. We get unhappy. We get over it. We move on. We do the job that we're supposed to do, and so on and so forth. So we're going to move past that. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk to you all about something that I talked to YTTA Network on about last week. On the YTTA Network when I did a Facebook Live video. I want to share that here with YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over that information yet again. And what I want to talk about is the problem that I see when we determine as owner-operators a rate per mile. Now, when I say owner-operator, I'm talking about everybody that runs their truck on a percentage pay. Okay, you know, and I don't mean as a company driver, but I mean running your truck. So there's lease purchase operators, there's lease operators, there's owner operators. Owner operators tend to make a distinction between them all, and you're not a real owner operator unless you own your truck, you know, and all that kind of, you know, stuff right there. And I fall into the idea that you don't own your truck as long as the bank holds the title on it. So you know, we're all in the same boat. It's just a different method of getting in that boat. Owner operators, lease purchase operators, lease operators, we're all making a payment to do a job. You know, we're all making a payment on a piece of equipment to do a job. Now, if your truck is completely paid off, you know, and you don't know anything on it, it's free and clear, well, you know, you're the best kind of owner operator. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a payment on an overhead, but nevertheless, you run your business the same, you know, as the rest of us run our business. So what I want to talk to you all about is a misconception in the idea of what you need in a rate per mile to operate your truck, okay? And hopefully I'm going to bring something a little bit new even to some of you older guys out there that have been doing this for a while, because you always hear this term when you ask the question. You hear the term know your numbers. Know your numbers. You got to know what it takes to run your truck and to operate your truck in order for you to know what the lowest rate that you can take on your truck is, okay? And the problem with that is that the figures are wrong. They're not correct. Not under the current method of figuring that out. And a lot of y'all may think, well, you know, I've been doing this 20, 30 years. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And okay, well, let me lay it out here for you. Okay, let me just lay it out here for you. And let me lay it out here for you in a way that hopefully all of y'all can understand. And we're going to be talking about a one truck operation. I'm drinking my tea. That's not soda, that's tea. I'm drinking tea. Ah, I lost my straw. Anyway, cup's too big for the straw. So we're talking about a one truck operation now, and I'll touch on maybe. Well, let me just start by saying that if you have more than one trucks, like say you have 2 or 3 trucks that are bringing in income, then your figures are all going to be different. But the one set of your figures are going to be spread among the 3 trucks instead of only being on one truck. Okay, so let's get moving with this. In order for you to be successful, you have to know what it costs for you to operate your truck. okay, as an owner operator. And typically what we mean by that is you want to break all of your costs down, all of your expenses down into what we call a rate per mile or a cent per mile cost. All right, so when they do that, you have to figure an average amount of miles that you run. So what we're going to do is on this example, and the reason I'm using this example is because I want to show you what happens when your figures don't work. All right, on this example, we're going to use a 2,500 mile week. And we're going to say that on average we're going to run 2,500 miles every week, and that's what we want to base our figures on. Okay, so we're going to take a 2,500 mile week, and then what we're going to do is we're going to determine fixed costs. So when they tell you to determine we're going to determine fixed and variable cost. So when they tell you to determine your fixed and variable costs, they include such things as maintenance. They include things like tires. They include things like fuel purchases. They include things like truck insurance. They include things like truck payment, trailer rental, trailer payment, or whatnot. Okay, they include the costs of operating your truck, and then a lot of people say that you have to throw taxes on top of that. So a lot of these people, they get all these figures, they figure them all out. They can get their margin down to about 90 cents a mile to $1.25 a mile, and they'll tell you, and I've seen it said that if you can't run your truck on $1.30 a mile, then you're doing something wrong. And so what I'm here today is to show you that those people who say that, and that those people who figure their costs like that, don't have a clue on how to run a business or be profitable in running a business. Okay, because see, here's the thing. What you've done now is you've set aside all of the expenses that you have at your house. Okay, so somebody will say, but I pay myself 40 cents a mile, or I pay myself 50 cents a mile. That's part of my operating cost. All right, but your operating cost, if you pay yourself 40 cents a mile or 50 cents a mile, is going to be a hell of a lot more than $1.30 a mile. If your operating cost for your truck is 95 cents a mile, and you pay yourself 50 cents a mile, then your operating cost is $1.45 a mile. Okay, if your operating cost is $1.25 a mile, and you pay yourself 40 cents a mile, then your operating cost is $1.65 a mile. Okay, but here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that is not enough for you to deal with, and for you to have the type of life that we want to have out here. So what I've done is I've broken this down into an expense report. All right, and I've taken every expense I have. All right, and when I say every expense I have, I mean that I've taken my personal bills, I've taken my truck payment, I've taken my truck insurance, I've taken my trailer rental, my escrow, my tires, entertainment for me and my wife when I go home, personal expenses out here on the road, savings, a 401k or IRA, whichever one you want to use, a fuel cost, unexpected emergency cost, taxes. We've figured all this in to determine what we have to make per week. Okay, and what I've done is I've broken all this down into a weekly cost, and then from a weekly cost, what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into a cent per mile cost. Okay, because remember I said we're basing this off a 2,500 mile week. So everybody's expense list is going to be a little bit different because it's based on what expenses that you have. My first expense on this list is personal bills. These are bills that pay my mortgage, they pay my gas, they pay my water, they pay my electricity, they pay my car insurance, they pay my health insurance, they pay all of those type of bills, my telephone service, all of that. It comes out to $500 a week. And that pays my loans. It pays every expense that I currently have out there on the market today. Okay, $500 a week. That's what it pays. All right, and I'm not going to say it's always going to be $500, but it's going to remain $500 for the foreseeable future, because as I pay a loan off, the money that out of that $500 that goes towards paying that loan will be doubled up to go towards another loan or go towards something else until everything is taken care of. All right. Second is my truck payment. Currently, my truck payment is $450, $450 a week. Now, my truck would have already been paid for last year if I had not had to have a in-frame done. I had to have a $15,000 in-frame done, and that's what I'm financing out right now. Currently, right now, I'm down to owing somewhere right around $10,000. Okay, $10,000 will be paid off. I pay it off at $1,800 a week. I mean, $1,800 a month, $450 a week. It'll be paid off in 7-8 months, something like that, give or take. Okay, we'll have the truck completely paid for, and then that $450 a week is not going to fall off of my expenses. That $450 a week is going to go towards buying more equipment. All right, truck insurance, $166 a week. My truck insurance actually just went up. It was $147 a week. It went up to $166 a week, and nobody told me it was going to go up. I didn't find out that it went up to $166 until I got my last settlement. But $166 is where it's at. Trailer rental is $100 a week. I pay $100 a week to my company to use their trailer. I absolutely absolutely detest renting a trailer. So what I'm working on doing right now is transferring my trailer rental that I'm giving to the company to a trailer purchase. So I'm going to try to purchase a trailer. I'm going to try to come up with a couple $1,000s down on it, and I'm going to try to purchase a trailer and keep my payments about $100 a week. All right, but right now my trailer rental is $100 a week. All right, my escrow comes out to roughly $275 a week. Okay, that's what it all comes, basically comes out to. That's where I like to keep it at. That allows me to build up, a little over $1,000 a month for maintenance on my truck. Currently my escrow balance is about $111. I tend to use the escrow as fast as it builds up. Tires, $100 a week. $100 a week is $5,200 a year for tires. We are hoping that we don't have to spend $5,200 a week for tires. A year for tires. We're hoping that our tires will last about a year and a half. However, we know that things don't always go the way that we hope they do. And so as a worst case scenario, we plan to replace all of our tires every year. All right, that means that I have $5,200 worth of cost. And if some of that's on the side of the road, then some of that's on the side of the road. All right, entertainment. I like to do things when I go home with my wife. Okay, I don't like to sit on my ass in front of a television and watch TV because it's the only thing I can afford. I want to go out to eat. I want to go to a movie. I want to maybe go get a hotel and in Dallas or something and go have some fun, with some friends of ours, whatever the case may be. We want to let loose sometimes. We don't want to be stuck at the house all the time. So we want to be able to spend money when we want to spend money. So me and my wife budget out money to fuck off. That's what we budget out money for. It's part of our budget, and that we call it entertainment. The entertainment fund. Sometimes we go to WinStar and we play the slot machine. Sometimes we go to movies. Sometimes we go out to expensive restaurants. Sometimes we go grab a hotel somewhere and just get away, $75 a week. Personal expenses are $150 a week. That's money that I spend out here on the road. Okay, money that I spend out here on the road is $150 a week. It's what I allot myself. Sometimes I spend it, sometimes I don't. If I don't, then I take and I store it away for later use. That allows me to buy things when I'm out here, whether it's food, whether it's new binders, chains, chrome, whatever the case may be. It's $150 that I've budgeted out for me to live on out here on the road every week, and it allows me to be able to do whatever it is that I want to do without feeling like I'm going broke all the time. Savings. I budget out $100 a week to go into savings. Okay, it's $5,200 a year. That money that goes into savings is used to further my business, whether it's used for repairs on my truck, whether it's used for emergency issues that come up, that may be personal issues, or whether it's used to buy another piece of equipment. But I put $5,200 a week into savings. Now, lately my truck has been pretty adamant on eating every bit of that, and my wife's car broke down, my son's car broke down, the water heater at the house went out, so my savings is down to maybe a couple $100. But we put it in there, we budgeted in there so that we can handle those things when they do come up without having to feel like we've gone broke. All right, a 401k IRA, we want to budget $100 a week for that. Budget $100 a week for your 401, your IRA. You can go to any bank, credit union, or anything like that, and you can begin an investment account. Okay, usually it takes about $1,000 to begin the investment account, and once you've begun the investment account, you can put $50, $100, $200, whatever it is that you want to put in there. You can put it in there weekly, you can put it in there monthly, you can put it in there biannually, you can put it in there annually, you can do it however it is that you want to do it. Me, I like to put it in there weekly, so but we want to build that up so that we have something to retire on. Fuel, based on a 2,500 mile week, I spend roughly $1,000 in fuel. All right, and that's a little over what I probably actually spend. I've got that figured at 6 miles per gallon. My truck is old; it doesn't get real great fuel mileage, and so I get on average 6.5 to 7 miles per gallon. But I would rather over-figure fuel than under-figure fuel. So if there's a little bit left over out of the fuel budget, then that helps. If something else falls short. So we budget roughly $1,000 a week for fuel. I think last week, not counting the weekend money that I used going to Montana, I spent $918 in fuel. So I was about what is that, $72 under what I budgeted. Okay. Unexpected emergencies, we budget $50 a week. For unexpected emergencies, that's anything. I mean, that's absolutely anything. Repairs on the truck, kids have to go to the hospital, we may need medicine, anything. There's a ton of anything. It's an unexpected emergency, so it's all inclusive. It covers anything. All together, that comes out to $3,066, and that's a subtotal because we also have to pay taxes on top of that. So $3,066. In order to pay, you pay 26% in taxes. 25% of my taxes, in order for me to pay 25% of my gross income in taxes, I would have to make $4,090. $4,090 times 0.75 brings you down, because you maintain 75% of your income. The other 25% goes to pay for illegal aliens coming over here and getting free health care, and all that bullshit. So in order to, 4,090 times 0.75 comes out to $3,067.50. And we knew that I had to have $3,066. So in order for me to be able to pay my taxes and that $3,066 that's on my list, I have to gross $4,090. And I'm doing that on a 2,500 mile week because that's what we figured this on. Well, when you sit down and you take $4,090, okay, and let's see here. All right, when you sit down, you say, well, I have to have $4,090 in order for me to pay my taxes and to pay my myself, and cover all of my expenses. Then we also have to understand on that in order for me to get $4,090, I only make 80%. That's what I make, is 80% of my gross income. So in order for me to make $4,090, well, $4,090 is 80% of what? $4,090 is 80% of $5,110. So in order for me to take home $3,066 and be able to pay, my taxes, in order for me to take home after taxes $3,066, I have to gross $5,110 on a 2,500 mile week. All right, now grossing $5,000 a week is not that difficult. I mean, you can gross $5,000 a week. You just can't really do it under the current rates at 2,500 miles. So that's why I told you we were going to choose 2,500 miles as our base, so we can show you what happens when it doesn't work. At 2,500 miles, in order for me to gross 5,110 miles a week, I have to run an average rate per mile of $2.04 a mile. So that's what I have to make all right, to break even. That's my break even, okay? Now, I've got things in there that we don't typically add. You know, like, for instance, unexpected emergencies, 401k, IRA, savings, personal expenses, entertainment. These are things that we don't typically add into our bills. All right, I've got things in there on top of that we don't add in when we figure out the cost of operating our truck, like personal bills, okay? If I were to break it down, and I didn't break it down, but if I were to break it down on nothing but the truck payment, the truck insurance, and the trailer rental, and the escrow, I bet I could probably run this truck on 75 cents a mile. The problem is that's not all of your expenses. This is your business. This is your income. This isn't just your business. This is also your job. Okay? So in order for you to pay your personal bills at the house, you have to be able to bring home enough money to pay all of your business related expenses plus all of your personal related expenses plus have something left over. And this is my break-even point. My break-even point is at the point at which all of my bills and all of my expenses are taken care of, but I'm not putting anything aside above that into the bank. Okay? This is our break-even point. This means that I have to have a paycheck that covers this much money in order for me to cover all of my expenses. Now, you may say, well, but you've got a 401k in there, you've got savings in there, you've got entertainment in there. That's what, $275, and then unexpected emergencies, that's $325 a week that you don't really necessarily have to keep in there, you know, because even without that $325 a week, I'm still breaking even, right? No, you're not. Because if all you're doing is paying bills, you might as well just go be a company driver. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just go be a company driver and live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. All right? My break-even point includes my downtime. My break-even point includes the time that I spend with my wife when I go home. It includes my personal expenses. It includes my personal expenses out here on the road. It includes my entertainment. It includes my emergency fund. These are everything I'm going to spend. This is money I plan to spend. So it includes everything I plan to spend. The stuff that I don't plan to spend is what I get as a bonus. That's my savings. That goes away to help build my company. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point right now, my company isn't making anything at all. My company is making zero, zilch, nothing. Nada, nothing. It's not making anything. I'm putting personally from my paycheck, I'm putting $100 a week into savings, $100 a week into my IRA, and I have $50 a week for anything that goes wrong, and I have $75 a week for entertainment with my wife. That's me personally. My business is making nothing. So in order for my business to make money, I have to exceed $2.04 a mile, okay? I have to make more than $2.04 a mile. And if I make, say, $2.25 a mile, then my business makes 21 cents a mile. And that 21 cents a mile goes into my business account in order for me to come up. Somebody is calling me. Let me look and at least see who it is. All right, he will have to wait. So I can't reach my phone right now. Y'all will just have to listen to that stupid tune. We're almost done here. All right. So let's talk about what the problem here is. Okay, and we've said that at $2.04 a mile, that's what I have to make to break even. In order for my company to really make any money we're talking about, I got to make $2.25 a mile. And the problem is that the rates right now in the spot market don't support that. Our average rates at Triple C right now are running about $1.80 a mile. And that's about what we make, is about $1.80 a mile. So how do I do this? What happens? All right, I'm 24 cents a mile short of what I need to make in order to meet my expenses. Well, we have two choices. One, we either cut our expenses down and something has to go to the wayside. And what's it going to be? Is it going to be your taxes? You're not going to pay your taxes? Or is it going to be you're not going to put anything away in your IRA? Or you're not going to put anything away in savings? Or you're not going to have that entertainment? You're just going to sit around the house, twiddle your thumbs and watch TV because it's the only thing that you can afford to eat while you eat TV dinners and you know, and get mad because you're out here spending all your time on the road and aren't making any money. Or the second thing that you can do is you can run more miles. Okay. Now, when you run more miles, your fuel expenses go up. But let's just bring it up 500 miles. You know, 500 miles isn't a lot of fuel, you know. But let's go up 500 miles on it. So we go up 500 miles, and what we find out is that at 3,000 miles a week, you only need about $1.70 a mile in order to succeed. Well, there's about a 10 mile, you know, because I said our average was $1.80. So there's about a 10 cent per mile difference. That 10 cent per mile difference hopefully will cover all of our fuel cost. So you see what the problem is when somebody gets into an area and they say, oh, well, I can haul $1.30 freight, or I can haul $1.20 freight, and I can still be successful. Okay? The truth of the matter is no, you can't. And the truth of the matter is that when I call that broker, or when Triple C calls that broker, and we're trying to negotiate a rate, and they say, oh, well, we can move it for $1.30 all day long. I can't get that load. I can't take that load, because if I take that load, I'm going to go broke. I'm gonna have to keep shopping around for another load. And you're the reason that load is $1.30 a mile, because he can get it covered all day long. He knows that he can get it covered all day long. If he's giving it to you for $1.30, you can bet he's probably got $3 in it. He's got $3 in it. He's going to sell it for $1.30 because he knows that he can get it for $1.30. He knows that he can do it, because some dumbass is going to take the load thinking they only need to make 95 cents a mile on their truck. Hopefully I've wakened some of y'all up, and hopefully y'all will start saying no to cheap freight. Hopefully y'all will start looking at the bigger picture, and hopefully y'all will start seeing that it costs a lot more to operate your truck than just what it costs to operate your truck. Because you're not just running a truck, you're running a business, and your business is what is paying your bills. All of your bills, your personal bills, your trucking bills, and all of that. So start saying no to that $1.30 freight and start making the prices go up. Okay? Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being out here with me. This is the second video that I plan to upload, and we will catch you somewhere on the flip side. Share, subscribe, like. Take care, and peace out.